Another beautiful day. Welcome to the platform of hope. What kind of character are we investing in our children when it comes on to being wealthy or rich? What kind of character? Just reflect on our achievements in life. Reflect on how we got it. Reflect on the ways in which we thought was right was wrong, and we come to the reality that the choices that we made were bad choices. Reflect on the impact that it's going to have on our children's children when we no longer here. A lot of times, persons would want to zoom in on our ancestors, whether they were good persons or bad persons, and they would take drastic action, not wanting us to be among those persons or within that family. And it has to do with the character that was demonstrated then. It left an indelible mark in their head that they don't want you to be within that family. And you find that mainly in community-oriented family. And they have that stigma like a beating stick. It's like a beating stick saying, no, 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 no. Yeah, it does happen. It does happen. And in the book of Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 12, Solomon says, there is a way which seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of destruction. Just reflect on persons that you know may not be in your immediate setting, but someone who is affiliated with that individual. The way in which they gain riches. And at the end of it all, their chaos and their confusion even unto death. A lot of times we take it lightly and don't understand that there are certain things that will come back to haunt us. And at that time, it seems right. It's like a parent accepting money from a son or a daughter who did not get it the right way. They didn't work for it. They did something else to get it. And we compromise, and we keep on compromising, not understanding we're posing problem for our children. Instead of correcting them, we condone it because we want to look good in the eyes of man, and we look so bad in the eyes of God because of our practices. It seems right because when the blessing flowing, it looks so good, look enticing, and is the same kind of principle, the same kind of practices start to surface between the walls of Christendom, where we don't take time out to understand the way in which persons receive what they receive, but we become so gullible in getting it. To the extreme of putting that person over everybody else because of how it appears to be in our eyes. When the word of God said, there is a way which seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So we condone some practices leading the person into hell. What kind of table are we setting for our children? What kind of table? Self-check. Anything that we do negatively will come back to haunt us. When we see things happening to our children in a negative way, it hits us first because we are the one who are always seeing the things happening. We take it on so passionately. And at the same time, we are reflecting. If I just change the way I do stuff, then my child would not be in that position. Self-check. I'm talking to us as parents. We have to be mindful of what we are gullible to, which eventually will affect our children. We have to be very mindful. Proverbs also highlight there's so many morals and guide in the book of Proverbs. I don't know why I'm led to go back this morning, but I was just reflecting on the lifestyle of our children and other person's children, how their practice via getting wealth. Some things that they do to get wealth. Some things that we compromise with them to get wealth, and not understanding that we are creating havoc for them and havoc for their children's children. Character with integrity is extremely important. Character with truth is extremely important. Character with honesty is extremely important. It doesn't matter how much you gain, how much wealth you gain. If the character with right standing is not highlighted, is not demonstrated, then we are creating ditches for our children. I'm talking about the legacy that we're leaving for our children to capitalize on. The legacy. What type of table was it set on? Was it on a table of truth or a table of deception? And we allow our children to be sucking the sour grape. We allow our children to keep on going down because of our practices. Instead of acknowledging it and confess it and break it off our children, we become so gullible because we want to look good in the eyes of man and not understand that the blessing comes from the big man via our obedience, via our receptiveness. But guess what? We always want to do things our own way and don't understand that our own way leads to destruction. And not only that, our children's children becomes the victim of it because of our bad choices. But I must encourage us today, it's not too late to change the way we do stuff. It's not too late to acknowledge and confess and break it off their lives. A lot of times when a mother or a father die, the inheritance is always chaotic. And when you check down the line, it has been an inherited thing because of the practices of deception. We have to be mindful of the legacy that we're leaving with our children's children. We have to be true to ourselves. Some people dead gone to them grave with some deep, dark secret of how they achieve their legacy or the inheritance, and we pass it on to our children, and we weren't true to them, and they inherited curses instead of blessing. Let us be mindful today to protect our children and to protect our children's legacy. It is very important. It's extremely important. Be mindful. Let us be mindful and ask the Lord to help us. Ask the Lord to guide us into the path that He wants and not what we want, to save our children and our children's children's. Blessings and love always.